Well, what's up, YouTube? I should be live now. Well, what I'm going to be doing is exactly what the title says. I'm going to be updating the AI voice cloning repository with other languages. So, hopefully it all goes smoothly. And, yeah, for the most part, everything is already done. I just need to push things up to the repository and do a couple of other minor little things. Like I have to repackage everything up, which is going to take a little bit of time, but regardless, here is the code, and I'm just going to be working, so feel free to talk if you like, and I'll respond when I can. Okay. So I'm just gonna add some additional ignores because I don't need some of these things, like I don't need .vs code. I feel like I should do all PTH files, and yeah, because I don't think I have any PTH files inside of it. But what's up, Monkey D Kaizoku? Thank you for tuning in. What's the best way to train and inference models? Any in specific? Are you trying to train models in Tortoise? There is no universal best way to do it. However, the general advice is listen to your data, make sure that you have clean data, or analyze your data, and then when you train the model, you should expect that the end model should inference and reflect that of your data. So you want to make sure those kind of match. But I wouldn't say there's a best way to do it, per my knowledge. It's going to be a lot of trial and error. Onyx test, check. Yeah, I don't need these Onyx stuff, so I'm actually going to move these into a folder that I'm going to ignore. Onyx test stuff. Okay, yep. Let me move that. Take that. Take that. That. Fix those. Get status. Get ignore. Save. Alright, there we go. Now we're back at a state that I would like to just update into. That should be pretty good. 6 gigabytes of VRAM. You should be able to train, but you'll need to decrease your batch size. So 6 should be fine. 4 or lower is going to be a little bit of a struggle. Yeah, if you don't want to do collab, you could always just try to do a very, very, very small batch size. So that would be one or two in your case. What's up, Josh and me? Thank you for tuning in. What's up, Kelly Trooper? Thank you for tuning in. Said a little bit earlier in the stream, just updating the AI voice cloning repository for languages. So just working. Right, I already banned get status. So. Where is my change log at? Here it is. Today is 3/17/2024. Putting in other language capability training to the Repo. Okay. What's up, Fernie? Any possibility of putting AI voice as ChatGPT? You can do ChatGPT's like API, but I'm not going to be adding that into the repository. This one's going to be mainly Tortoise only. Or who knows, maybe in the future, if it gets any better, maybe I'll add some additional features and functionalities. But for the most part, I have been just leaving it at Tortoise. Right, and then I should really create a train dot test and leave the other train as normal. Train. I'm gonna put this as train jard. And then I'll add a note here. This is a specific file for testing. Nothing more than that for Jared. Note. Alright, and then I will delete that. I think that should put it back to what it was before. Yeah, that will put it back. A good ratio learning epoch dataset. For voice fine tuning, I've kind of found that it's dependent on the data, so it kind of varies between voice to voice. Generally, most of my models, if I say like I have an hour of audio, most of my models have already kind of converged at around 50 or so epochs, so I generally don't train more than that. And then I generally also leave learning rate at the standard, but those are values you'd definitely play around with. Besides paying for Colab, any free way to train models and get the model files? Unfortunately, you can try searching around for other cloud services that offer GPU power, but most things aren't going to be free nowadays. Anything that's free, there's generally a catch behind it. So, yeah, the best way is to, save up over time and invest in maybe like a 12 gigabyte graphics card, like a 3060. Like a 3060 12 gigabyte is, I think, still one of the best bang for your buck if you're just trying to get into these types of model trainings, just because it's not too slow, and it's got a lot of VRAM for the price. So you can find those used, at least in the United States, for around 200 bucks. All right. And that one I'm actually going to... I guess I'll add that one as well. Source train jar, I'll add that. Git add, git ignore. I mean, I could just add plus and see what the git status of this is. Other languages, change, check, change, log, git push. Alright, cool. Pushes are there for those, and then I need to update the submodules as well too. What's up, Pivot? Thank you for tuning in. Tortoise obviously is better than 11 Labs. I personally think, well, I wouldn't say 100% of the time it is, but the quality of Tortoise plus RVC is the closest that you can get to locally for 11 Labs quality. And in terms of prosody, which is basically just the way that the breathing and the intonation and the way you flow through a sentence, it sounds really good in Tortoise. So I think that'll be your best local opportunity. Yeah, unfortunately, that's for GPU, free GPU power. Most of these services out there, you're gonna have to pay a little bit. So yeah, that's what I've come to figure out as well. Let's see. Training a cartoonish character. So in my experience, when I crank up the text learning ratio, I generally do that for other languages. I think what it's doing is it's training the model's tokens for certain characters higher, meaning it might be able to capture like the way that cartoon characters enunciate their words a little bit better, but I'm not exactly too sure on how much it affects it. I do know that cranking up the text learning ratio is pretty necessary for other languages, but yeah, once you have a language tuned in, or once you have a language already fine-tuned, like say the ones that I was doing for like the whole language, you generally don't need to change the text LR, and you can have it pretty low. But I did increase the text LR for kind of accent training, and it did allow the accent to come through a little bit more, but yeah, you'll have to play around to see if that'll help out with your character. Any non-web UI method in Colab to train with a free GPU? There were some people that were maintaining a Colab version of Tortoise from MRQ's repository. However, I haven't continued those. That's additional maintenance that I'd have to do that unfortunately I don't have the time for. And yeah, it's possible if someone wanted to create up a doc to do it. Ideally, what you could do is if somebody wanted to go about doing that, you would just need to clone all of the stuff into it and then download all of the requirements. So that would be like in the requirements folder here, or the requirements text file. You would just pip install all of these, and then you would just have to run this, what is it, this train file, which is in the source folder. So this train.py handles basically everything. You would just need to set up the YAML file for configuration, and then you could train it. How do you add emotion to the voice when using Hi-Fi GAN? Well, the emotion, I don't think the emotion comes from the Hi-Fi GAN part of it. The emotion comes from the autoregressive portion, which is what we're fine-tuning. So that's the one that's actually creating the tokens that need to be converted back into an audio file with the Hi-Fi GAN model. And so if you want to try to induce emotion into the autoregressive model, the Tortoise model we're training, then you would ideally have some of that labeled inside of the your train file. So that would be a little bit, that would be kind of hard because you'd have to manually label it, but I can see that kind of working. Now for RVC models is a little bit different. RVC is actually pretty conservative on VRAM usage, but one issue with RVC is if you accidentally train too large of a batch size on RVC, you start putting some work. You start putting some of the data into, I believe, the CPU RAM, and that makes training a lot slower. So, but I already think there's a huge community behind RVC already. So, I think they already have a Colab notebook for that. But I don't think free Colab works for RVC because I think Google banned it. So you still need to have paid RVC for that. Dataset for Tortoise TTS, I recommend you at least have 20 minutes at minimum. All right, so now what I need to do is alrighty, let's head into DLAS and see what I changed to make sure I'm not pushing anything that's broken. Voice Tokenizer. Here we go. Okay. elif self language equals English text English cleaners enables training of language. Okay, perfect. So yeah, that is simple. So let's see if I can add this. Get status. Right. Get. This is for training other languages. Check AI voice cloning. Do I have a DLAS change log? I do not. You are not currently on a branch. Push history. Let's see. Git push origin. What's the name of this branch? Master? I think I use master. Okay, cool. Okay, that is done. Now what I need to do is inside of the modules, I have to go to DLAS, see if there is a push for it. Master. Okay, cool. So then what I have to do is take this commit and then reinitialize this commit for my AI voice cloning repository. And then let's see, where is Git modules? Yeah, I need to pull up my cheat sheet. Update a submodule from the main repo. Git checkout master, git pull origin master. See back. I think there's another step that I had to do in order to re-update. So I'm gonna ask Claude a submodule in my repository to update the main repo to now use an updated version of the submodule in GitHub. Okie dokie. What's up, Talhara Tahir? Will the streams be saved? Yes, they'll be archived, so you can indeed check it out later. Okay, update submodule in your local repository. Check out the desired branch or commit you want to use. Commit the updated submodule. Update the submodule and other clones of the main. Alright, so before I actually do that, let me push the changes inside of the tortoise module. Modules, tortoise, status. Do API test. Ah, yeah, I don't need these either. Yeah, I want to ignore those actually. Yeah, we're gonna go and ignore that, so we'll ignore tortoise and onyx tests. Alright, save that. Git status. Oops. Alright, what happened here? What is the difference? Oh, these are all the changed ones. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Alright, some comments. Yeah, if you can get a well-trained tortoise model, that is ideal, and then you could run it through RVC just to correct it a little bit for the pitch. But ideally, you want a top-notch tortoise model. How big of a dataset audio do you need from YouTube? Well, if you want to train a language, in my experience, I trained a Vietnamese model with about 40 hours of data. So you could probably get away with 100 hours. Transcribe that 100 hours and then use MP3. And I should be enabling MP3 training as well with this repo update. And you should be able to get along or get through with that. If the model is not good enough, you can always add more data to it. This live stream is going to be uploaded onto YouTube automatically afterwards. So if you want to watch in detail, you can. Monkey D Kaizoku. Well, I can give you the high-level overview. All I'm doing is implementing some changes from the repository into onto GitHub to reflect the latest state of other languages, of training in other languages. So basically just enabling the AI voice cloning repository for training in other languages. Because in order to do so, there are a couple of things that need to be done. Like one of the biggest things is making sure that the token. So when you train a model, there are cleaners, and these cleaners are used to, let's say, make the text to normalize the text. But what does normalize mean? But let's just say you need cleaners to run on your data set. And so once you do that, if you you can then run it into through the training process. But for Tortoise TTS, what ends up happening is it throws all of the data into these English cleaners, and the English cleaners basically destroy other languages. So you can't do that with other languages. So need to change how that's done. 100 hours of audio. If you're in MP3, 100 hours of audio will be, I don't know, like 25 gigs, something like that. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, SYS. A pipeline for all of those. Unfortunately, I don't think I have the time for that, but I do have some videos going over what I did for making the Tortoise pipeline. So if you want to go watch that, you can get an idea on how I implemented it. But basically, you'd want to put them in sequence. So use your XTTS model and then feed it through RVC. But my RVC TTS pipeline is kind of it's not hard to install, but there can be some errors that you run into. So you'd want to do something like that to run RVC through it. Alrighty, and now let's see. Let me check these files real quick just to make sure the updates aren't destroying anything. Okay, API fast. What did I change here? Alright. Oh, delete. Alright. Do TTS fast. What is changed in here? I don't recall doing any changes to that. Okay, next, Tokenizer. This one is the same thing. Okay. Let's see. If, okay, I'll do an elif here. Elif English basic cleaners. Maybe destroy it. Alright, get status. API fast. Models, regressive PY. This was when I was trying to do optimum, but I think some of the things have been implemented in this. So I'm just gonna delete this. Don't need that. Alright, status. Tokenizer. Yeah, this is the biggest thing. Just changing the tokenizer. I don't think it really matters about the other things. Alright. Git add all, git status. What's up, Lynn? Lion, Ryan. If you're wondering why I stopped responding to you, it's probably because of this. But, yeah, as is what the title says. Updating this repository. And going through GitHub stuff. Git status, git commit. Modified tokenizer for other languages. C change log in AI voice cloning repo. Git. I think I'll have to do the same thing here. But before I get too far along, I want to know preprocessed text. All right, change log in both DLAS and Tortoise TTS. Update the pre-processing text to be able to handle other languages. Oh, he left me on red? Boo, that's okay. I was already planning on streaming, unfortunately, so that is I would have left you on red. All right, lots of comments have been flowing in. Let's see. All the emotions. Let me get caught up on the comments real quick. All right. Seems like an isolated conversation, but yeah, Hi-Fi GAN severely decreases the quality of the output. I believe it could be fine-tuned a little bit more, but I haven't actually researched how to do that, unfortunately. So, the emotion tab inside of Tortoise TTS is kind of misleading because all it really does, like he's saying, is prepend that emotion to the beginning of the text with brackets, and it's supposed to condition the later parts of the sentence to sound in a specific way, but in my experience it doesn't really do much. Alright, I think in this case I'll have to do the same thing I did with the other one. Oh, no, never mind. Get status. Alright. And then I need to update those. Oh my goodness. Have I been streaming without the without the code screen open? Oh, I really was. Dang it. So basically what I was doing right now is I was just updating the repository, the DLAS and then the Tortoise repositories. So sometimes I pull up other windows and it covers the stream, which sucks. Hi-Fi GAN model can be fine-tuned. I don't exactly know the process for it, so I can't really comment on it too much. Ziger, the emotion and pitch control, I think it's hard to induce unless you train. So the way that the autoregressive model seems to learn is that it takes the text that you feed in and pairs it with audio. So if you were to label your transcripts, say you have a sentence where someone is laughing, you could have some words, you could label it with the square brackets laughing, and then continue the rest of the sentence. In that way, you could learn, I mean, the model could learn what the square brackets and emotion mean, and then you could probably, you know, maybe have it laugh or something. But that's an experiment I haven't tried yet. That's just a idea I have in my head. Dun, 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 dun. But like, emotion is hard because you would need another model that can get emotion. The ideal case would be to train all of the emotion into the autoregressive model, because we don't want to be fumbling around with all these different other components in the pipeline. I think Amazon's base TTS, which they just came out with a paper on that in like February, kind of, I think, labels like not emotion but pauses and pitch and I don't really know, exaggerations and basically prosody in sentences by just training on a lot of data. So more data, probably the better. All right, and to update the submodules, what if I could just do git submodule update, git submodule update. Okay. Status. Alright. That one is done. DL Art School. And then I will have to Is it this submodule update remote? Okay, they're checked out. Shoot. I did this a couple months back, but I must not have written it down. Update a module from the main repository CD. Check out. Master CD back. Oops, gets git commit m update submodules for other languages, git push. All right. That is all done. All right, let's check the repository now. Refresh. All right, cool. Those ones have been updated. That's perfect. So I believe the AI voice cloning repository should be done and updated for that. And this is updated submodule from the main repo. And update the SSH commit in the sub in the main repo. Alright. MetaVoice 1B is pretty good too. I think they Amazon and MetaVoice came out with models kind of at the same time. But I think MetaVoice, you need quite a powerful computer for it, so I don't think I got time to check it out. Dun, 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 dun. The what is it? The conditioning latents, are you having issues with that inside of the AI voice cloning repository? I know there's an issue that I just created like a soft little fix for, which is just throw an error out for you to recompute latents. That's only if you switch between hi-fi GAN and the diffusion model. Alrighty. So I actually, you know, this could be stream done, AI repository, repo updated, but I do want to check it out as well, just to make sure it works. Ooh, I want to change the changelog or the README to add in Let's see. Heavy check work. Oh yeah. That could probably be, yeah, that could totally be done through code to take out. That's something I haven't gotten to because I completely forgot about that. To where it generally will take that audio. Well, it'll take all the audio from that folder as latents, or it'll take all of the audio inside of the voices folder as latents. You are on the money for that one. I'll see if that's going to be a involved fix. Let's see. Possible to train in other languages. What I do want to add in here is a easy way to make BPE tokenizers so that you could train in other languages. So tokenizers, modules, tortoise models, no data, tokenizer. Okay, here is this tokenizer. Do I add oh, I don't have language in here actually. Okay, so I am going to add a language tag into here because it needs it. Language. EN. And I guess I'll have to update this as well too. CD modules tortoise. Get Tokenizer.json for Ian. Oops, for Ian. What did I name tortoises? Modules. Is the training for XTTS v2 and tortoise the same? Yes. It should follow the same process. The only thing that's different is the parameters that you need to train XTTS v2. But if you want to take a look at, I believe, Dasser's Koki XTTS trainer, I think that one works just fine. There are a little bit of might be a little bit of issues with some of the things in there, but it's not too bad. Master. Okie dokie. Alrighty. Cool, that should be it for that tokenizer. Let's check. Um, 2 minutes. Alright, cool. That's been updated. What's up, Elliot? Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, I think I have subscriber only mode chat. I think you just need to be a subscriber for like 10 minutes. That's just to avoid possible spam. Yeah, I do receive a lot of comments, so I might have missed it. But the custom, the square bracket method, I don't know how you train it to be better, or I haven't actually tested it, but I believe what you can do is label the data with tags like square bracket laughing, or square bracket crying, or square bracket sad, and you can get the model to understand maybe what these audio files are with emotion. But I don't know exactly how to do that, and I haven't done any testing around it. That's one thing I want to try though. When I was training in Japanese, everything was kind of mixed into one data set. The reason is that I can see is I'm just trying to get the model to understand how the language sounds as a whole. So you can mix as many different different voices in there as you'd like. Once you are done training the language, though, then you can fine tune it by using smaller data sets. Yeah, it would be very similar to Bark, but I think it really comes down to data set and labeling. So yeah, no, I think your intuition is correct on there. That's kind of my thought as well. Is if you have enough labels inside of the sentences, you should be able to infer that audio, because you would just train the autoregressive model on it and pair it, since it's text audio pairs. But I definitely want to do a little bit of testing on that just to verify the hypothesis. All right, where was I at? AI voice cloning. Oh. Okay, one thing that I want to add to the AI voice cloning repository is a way to make the tokenizer yeah. So I gotta do a couple of updates real quick on my my training scripts. Let's close out of that. Alright, and we will go ahead and open this with code. Alrighty. Let me change the live window to this one. Yeah. Okay. So here is the Tortoise dataset tools. These are basically the tools that I use to curate other languages. What I'm gonna do now is just update it with some of the well, I'm just gonna update this to like the latest version of the scripts that I've been using, just because I did some changes to my own personal scripts that I use. Alrighty, so resample. basically just go to here. But do I not have a virtual environment in here? Yeah, I guess I don't have a virtual environment in here, but I should because I want to use these eventually. All right, save. Extract text from train and data set. Okay, I think this is actually more. This is closer. Convert wave to MP3. Convert to MP3. Yeah, I use PyDub in this as well too. Okay, cool. What other ones do I need to update? Extract from SRT. I think I have that one. Extract from train. Reformat to tortoise. Okay, I think I already did that one. Train BPE tokenizer. Okay, this is one that I need to change. Aha. Train BPE tokenizer. Boom. Okay, some comments. So I was doing some stuff. Any advice about dataset? 330 hours of 5 professional voice actors, but all they are saying is the same. I have a question. Are they saying like the same sentences, or I think that should be fine. You can put them all in and try to train. But if you're getting good results with smaller datasets, you can try the smaller datasets first to see if that's sufficient for your needs. Random person 07. Yeah, this is going to be the update for the AI voice cloning repository for other languages. So right now what I'm doing is just updating some of the scripts that I used for it all, and we'll be doing that for it. So yes, yeah, I think the same sentences should be fine, but yeah, I don't see any issues with it. Maybe learning different sounds for those tokens, but yeah, I'd say give it a try. How long have I been working with deep learning? Well, I'd say it's been about 2 years now, give or take. So I'm no expert by far, but I've learned quite a bit in that time because I've been doing it quite often. Pre-train a speech model on other languages. Well, you can take the current autoregressive model and then you can just run it with a new tokenizer and then new data, and then that'll train the model for that language. So you get a new speech model afterwards. To transcribe a folder containing. Ooh, okay. I think this is it right here. Tortoise dataset maker. All right. Paste. Action, C, language. I feel like I should add these as inputs. Well, if I'm just running it from main, I probably don't. v3, bash size, code key, audio directory. Yeah, no, Elliot, that's pretty awesome. I mean, there's so much learning that has to be done for this field. So I think the best way is doing things like that, building models and yeah, building models, testing them, breaking them, and you learn along the way. I mean, that's been my favorite way of learning as I go, just because I actually get to see things and understand how they work. So that's awesome. How hard would it be to have an API call synthesize audio using all of these settings, deep speed and the such? For Tortoise, I believe the Gradio interface, the web UI actually already has a API function. So you just have to set up everything inside of Tortoise or the web UI and then just call that Gradio API. I actually do that inside of my audiobook maker that I shared, like, I think last fall or something like that, where I'm doing exactly that. Is Relu bad as an activation layer? I know they use it for basically everything. Like, you get all your weights, you get all your inputs, multiply them, add your bias, and then activate it. So I'm not exactly sure what all the different activation functions are out there, but I'm willing to learn, so I gotta try it out. Yeah, having a solid understanding of the mathematics helps quite a bit. Is it possible to train RVC? Unfortunately, not. In my repository, you do not train it in RV. You don't train it inside the web UI. You train it in RVC. My point being is that RVC has a much larger audience base, and there's a bunch of developers there. So just train on their repository, and then mine just allows you to use the model afterwards. I mean, there are some other algorithms that have come out from then that I haven't updated my repository with, such as, I believe it's like FCPE, which is a different pitch estimation algorithm, but I don't think it's better than ARM-VPE, so I haven't decided to do that yet. Okay, reformat to tortoise train. Okay, so I do want to test my tools here just to make sure that they work. And I will create a new virtual environment. Let's do Python 3.10 VNV scripts activate. Well, Vishnu, actually, if you have the mathematics already and you have the basics of deep learning, my advice is you should just start building some of the models and just test them out and try them. I think that's practical experience seems to be always the most important for a job or for just general knowledge. So I think you should just start diving in and building some models. All right, well then I'll have to do a little bit of research on activation functions just to see what's new. I guess yes, you could say RVC uses a neural network to modify the speech. It uses again, generative what is it? Adversarial networks, generative adversarial networks. And I think there's a bunch of different neural networks that are used to train RVC. Like, I think it uses a deviation of Hubert, which is I think Hubert is used for like pitch extraction or feature extraction, and then they use that with a bunch of other things to train their models. But I've forgotten what all these acronyms mean. One thing about deep learning, machine learning, is that there's just so many acronyms for everything. Like, what does Hubert mean? I forget. This update will be coming out. Well, it's actually coming out now, but the packaged up model, I don't know. We'll see how long that takes for me to make. But right now, what I need to do is install. Actually, I think what I should do is just create a setup script. So, that's what I'll do first. So let me actually hop into here. We're gonna go into Whisper X, and we'll just create a setup script. So what I'll do is I'll just take what I have written inside of this setup CUDA bat here. And then I'll just go ahead and make a setup CUDA bat. Throw this inside of here. All right, in this case, I'm going to use Python 3.10. No, actually, just go ahead, copy this. Go ahead, slap this to here. Do Python 3.10 version 3.10 not installed. Please install it and try again. All right, py call activate. Cool. And then what I want to do is torch, PyTorch. Get started. We'll use this one. Alright, get out of here. Pip install torch. Alrighty. Then we'll go ahead and install the Whisper X one. And then yeah, I think that should be it. And then I just need to do pip install requirements. Install r.requirements.txt. I don't know if I need to do pip3 either there. And then we'll pause this here. Alright, and then I can run the setup bat. See how this works. Alright, this is going to take a little bit of time to finish up, so. Oh, no, never mind. Perfect. I already have it. I already have Torch installed, so it's using a cached version, which is beautiful. Yeah, GANs I like to kind of think as kind of like someone that's trying to determine whether a dollar bill is counterfeit. The ideal finished model um, is when the discriminator isn't able to determine whether or not the output is real or fake. So it gives a 50-50. Mm, any paper that gives knowledge for TTS from the beginning. Um, I would say start from like tortoises and just read all of the, well, depending on what architecture you want to build, right? So if you're inspired by tortoise, I would start with tortoise, see what papers that Jay Becker went through in order to install tortoise, and then read those papers and then see what other papers those papers reference. It's kind of like a um, well, it's almost like a never-ending list of papers that you could read for that. So like tortoise goes, there's a bunch of different papers for tortoise. Like there's the VQVAE one is one that I'm reading right now, just trying to figure out how that exactly works for tortoise so that we can train that. But there are just a bunch of papers. Yeah, it's an entire rabbit hole of papers. When you read one paper, you realize your knowledge isn't high enough for that paper, so you have to read the other papers that paper references. So yeah, it just goes on and on and on and on. But I think there's a point to where you can skip some stuff and just start implementing some things as well. So oh, think you could train the RVC V2 pre-trained model on more speech data to get better quality. I think so. I believe the RVC V2 is only trained on singing data, so it might be just singing data. So it's a wonder that it works super well. But ideally, you could pre-train it. You could get a better model, like the company I reviewed, which is Kits AI. They use a better pre-trained model for their RVC inference. So yeah, you could do that 100%. Alright, if all went well, everything should be installed properly inside of my VENV. And yeah, already ignore VENV. Let's see what my git status is here. Convert to MP3, resample to 2205. Alrighty, looks like this works perfect. So we'll go ahead and do git add, git status, and I'll go ahead and now push or commit. Updated these scripts to the latest stuff that I use. And git push. Alright. Failed to push references. Git pull, git push. Okay. Let's go to my repository. Oops. Tortoise dataset tools. Alright, everything's been updated. Cool. Well, I could probably just say update. Vishnu, I would love to make more tutorials. I just don't have enough time for a lot of things. I've got a full-time job, so 40 hours a week, and on top of a bunch of other things. So yeah, dishing out videos would be quite difficult with my schedule, and I don't want to hire any help because then I got to do taxes in a different way, and yeah, start running it like a business. There's a lot of different things that I'd have to do. So dun, 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 dun. In general, I think dataset is a good. In general, having better dataset with more data seems to be like the push. Seems to be the way. So the more you get, the better. I don't think there's any issue with that other than maybe you need more graphics or more compute power to train all of that. The rumor is that 11 Labs also uses an autoregressive model um, behind their speech, but yeah, they probably have a bunch of other post processing tools that make it really good. Alrighty. Combine, dun, 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 dun. Okay, and then I will also ignore the personal folder that I will create for myself and create a personal folder. Save that. Git status. Git add. Git. Add a dot. Okay. Done. Okay, Tortoise dataset tools is updated. So now what I want to do with this is use it as a module inside of Tortoise. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm back in here. Okay, so what I can do is now add it as a submodule. Let me see if I have instructions on that. I don't have instructions from Git on how to instantiate a new submodule, and I forget exactly how I did it. So, what are the instructions to instantiate a new submodule? The main repo. Devin AI. I don't think it's dangerous to programmers' work at the current moment because Devin themselves are hiring more programmers. So there's a bunch of other opinions out there on it. I don't think it's enough to replace everyone yet. because they're still just using whatever's available for API models out there like ChatGPT or Claude 3. So yeah, I don't see that happening yet, but in the future, well, 100%, totally. Okay, to instantiate a new submodule in the main submodule add URL path submodule. Submodule. What's up, Game Hero? Thank you for tuning in. Do I have a plan to train Dutch? At the current moment, I do not. And even the other ones, I'm kind of just training them for just kind of my personal knowledge for training other languages. At the current moment, I'm not releasing the models, so I kind of just leave the knowledge out there for other people to experiment and train models on their own. That might change in the future, but it all depends on you know, how things go, of course. So my goal is just to get things is just to get kind of the experience and knowledge of what I've done to train these other languages out there so that others can duplicate my work. There are a lot of comments out there, Vishnu. Unfortunately, I missed your previous one. Advice or help? I am quite busy myself, so my free time is reserved for many other things. So unfortunately, I'm not able to individually help people. But I have tried doing like consultation work, where I do charge $50 for 30 minutes, but even that is kind of time consuming. But I might throw that out there if people want to do that more. Okie dokie. And then what repo do I want? I want this one. I'm going to copy this repository. CD modules. Oops. CD modules. Modules. Hold on. CD get. I'll leave that get in there. Modules. Let's see if that does it. Modules already exists in the index. So I think I need to clone it there. So modules. Adding existing repo, add modules to the index. Warning in the working copy of get modules. LF will be replaced by CRLF next time get touches it. Okay. The interesting thing about training models is that there's not always a set in general on what to do. So in terms of epochs, generally, like if you're at like 30 minutes of data, if you're trying to train an RVC model, 30 minutes should be more than enough that you could probably train for 50 to 200 epochs, but more can make it better. Right, get modules, dataset tools, tool. Get clone submodule. For this one. Oops. CD AI voice cloning get status. Add. Mit. Add sub module to this. Add sub module for tortoise. Dataset tools. Git push. Okie dokie. Now let's check the repository real quick just to see if that's been updated. Alright, modules, tortoise dataset tools already. And then I think setup should do this. Should do this correctly. So setup CUDA. Setup CUDA. Alright, subject. Initialize. Model update. Pip install. Modules, tortoise TTS requirements, tortoise TTS, DLAS requirements, deep speed. Oof. Might have to rebuild that for something else, but that should be fine. Install RVC, do fair seek. Okay, install the requirements. Clean up. I guess I should also make it default to run the setup whisper bat as well. Yeah, we'll go ahead and throw this inside of setup CUDA bat because it's kind of necessary now. So other requirements. Alrighty, time for some comments. Man, you guys have a lot to say, which is awesome. I appreciate it. Validation dataset to monitor loss. Validation is split to verify the model is unfitting. Usually I don't run validation for my tortoise models. I haven't ran it with validation since the very beginning, and they've been doing fine. But generally, what I'll do is I'll actually just inference on the validation data set just to see if it sounds good on those afterwards. So I manually verify. How to use many GPUs on a single virtual environment of Azure? That I'm not sure. I have no Azure experience, so that would be unfortunate. I think a community built audio data would be kind of cool. And you know, there are already a bunch of, I think, other initiatives out there for like TTS. Like, I think the creators of RVC have their own TTS system using VITs, I believe, or SOVITs. So that's out there. But we also just saw a pretty big loss in open source, I guess, TTS, which was Koki. But some could argue that XTTS wasn't really open source. But I think they were doing a great job because they had a bunch of those TTS systems incorporated into one library. Get status, get add all, get push or get commit. Update the setup CUDA bat to include WhisperX as a mandatory WhisperX. Right, let me update the change log. Added tortoise. I'll just link the repository actually. Modules will be used for curating, will be used for other languages. Well, I'm not saying that you shouldn't use validation data, but yeah, wish you the best on CNNs. I was just reading up on CNNs over the past week and have yet to train a CNN model from scratch. Batch size? Batch size depends on, you know, how large your input data is and how large your VRAM is. So I think CNNs are cool. They're, to me, it sounds like a way to compress and encode higher dimensional data into something that's much lower, which can then be fed and consumed into things like, for me at least, it can be fed and consumed into like an autoregressive model. So I think that's VQ VAE use CNNs for part of that, and then there's the rest of the VAE network with the code book. So I need to understand all that a little bit more so that I can understand how to actually train a VQ VAE model successfully. What's up, Boston Terrier Shorts? Thank you for tuning in. Let's see. Voice changer client is not a virus, as per my knowledge. If you are in any way iffy about whether or not something is a virus, the best way to stay safe is just don't download it. but it hasn't been a virus in my case. Oh yeah. Also, this case made Whisper X a mandatory install. Thank you for tuning in, Vishnu. Appreciate it all the way from India. I know you guys are, it's like nighttime, so see you sometime around. Yeah, some virus detectors determine that like Python is a virus or can be used or can be a virus, and that's you're probably getting that from RVC because it's distributed with an entire Python package. So that could be used for malicious intent, but you know, per my knowledge, I don't think RVC is a virus. See ya. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Update is coming out, I don't know, probably sometime tomorrow, maybe, give or take. Well, okay, so the update to do, I'm doing a lot of talking, so I'm not doing a lot of programming. The update to do languages will be done after I finish this session, hopefully. Okay, made Whisper X a mandatory install. Okay, so the next thing that I need to do is figure out what to modify. Okay, so source main. Oops. What I can do now is just run this script. Actually, I'll just run it from here. Alrighty. Okay, cool. So this is up. This is loaded. Let's hop into here. Let's throw this in here, and here is our beautiful tortoise interface. So I might just create a new tab here actually, and run through my dataset curation scripts, maybe. Yes, we'll do that. All right, so in this case, I need to create a new tab. So we'll find out where this area is. So generate configuration. Generate configuration. Okay, so GI tab. Okay, so what I can do here is just follow this down. And then throw this in here. do with GRO. This case we'll do this. We'll call this one prepare other language. Prepare other language. And delete that. Now, I don't think I need all of these different things, but we'll see. How did I end up in the AI space? Well, as a mechatronics engineer, or a degree, well, mechatronics is kind of a mixture, so I feel like I could have gone in anyway, but you know, originally I was super interested in like robotics and stuff, but when I started playing around with like the transformers, like the GPT models, I was like, wow, this AI stuff is pretty dang cool. So I started playing around with those, and then found out that it's a very trivial reason. So I'm learning Japanese, and one of the things that I wanted was natural audio for Japanese audiobooks, and I wanted it to be read in the voice of the characters from specific animes. And so what I ended up doing was searching for different AI architectures out there that would allow me to do that, and I landed on Tortoise TTS. So that's kind of the backstory on how I got involved in the AI voice area. So yeah, I do have my bachelor's of science in mechatronics though, so I use most of that for my day job, which is robotics and whatnot. So and I might not have even seen the issue. There are a ton of issues that were open. I just haven't had the time to go through all of them, unfortunately. So sorry about that. Let's see. TTS, community-backed TTS dataset. Well, to run an initiative to do that, it could be possible, but organizing that would be, yeah, you would need to organize that somehow. I feel like it probably could be done with as hands-off as possible with like a Hugging Face. Upload all the data onto like Hugging Face or something like that. But who knows, if somebody wants to reach out and sponsor stuff like that, that could be a way to go. But if there ever is like a lots of data out there that is open source to train on, I wouldn't mind using those to train other models for other languages. So it's like yeah, I think like recently I've been training on other languages, but I don't distribute those models just because a lot of the data on there is from YouTube. So I don't know what the whole legality of that is. So if there was an open source data set, I wouldn't mind training and then distributing those models. Like the Mozilla, Mozilla, I think the Common Voice, like that's a good data set, but some of the languages and some of the quality of the audio from other languages is too low, I think. My professor used to always tell me that his best electrical engineer was a mechanical engineer, so it really doesn't what you graduate with doesn't determine what you actually do in the in the field. So science is still science generally. Yeah. Well, you know, throw something my way if anything like that ever gets organized. I mean, I could do. I wouldn't mind, showing off like large community-backed TTS datasets and running through things that way. Might get interesting. Now I forget why what is this dataset settings used for? Oh. I see. Let's see how this let's see how it's formatted. So we have prepare dataset, and let's see, prepare dataset. It's got a row, and then it's got a column. Dataset source. Alrighty. And then there's another radio row. Okay, so there's two columns inside of alrighty, I don't think I need two columns, so I could just do everything inside of one large column here. gr column. Oh man, you guys are in your masters. I gotta get my masters, so I want to go back to school to maybe do something in like AI area. So we'll see how that works. Because I feel like my credits are gonna run out from my bachelor's if I wait any longer, and then I'm gonna have to retake some courses, and that would be quite the drag. Would not want to have to redo that. Yeah, preferably I wouldn't want to take the data from like a university. I'm pretty sure there's like some type of there's got to be some type of licensing on that. Parsing an ebook correctly. I haven't looked at the ebook like EPUBs. So the easiest file to read is definitely just a text file, but with like PDFs and all of these different ebooks and whatnot, things get a little crazy. Yeah, poor quality, poor data. It's like garbage in, garbage out type of deal. Let's see. I'll call this I won't call this dataset settings. What I'll call this oh man, ideally I'd want to have this all into one, but I don't want to modify that, so dataset 2 dataset 2 settings. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Dataset 2. Um, what's up, Len? Writing big projects. The way that I've kind of gone about it is start small and then you start small and you go big. But if you have a big project already, like Tortoise, the best thing to do is to just kind of reverse engineer and just go through a lot of the files. So, and then once you understand that, you can add smaller components to the big project. So, like right now, what I'm doing is just modifying the web interface based on other things that already exist in this web interface. So I already kind of have some additional help through it. Oops, capital R. I also hate how freaking Python is broken now. Pylance, Python. Reload required. Alright, reload. Alright, let's go ahead, rerun main. Gotcha. Yeah, some unis are like that, or a lot of things you just gotta source it and then or cite it. So not too difficult. Not too difficult. Interesting for ebooks. Yeah, the issue is just parsing and making sure that you are only sending text to the text to speech generation. Oh yeah, so when we had to work in C, we were programming um ah my camera just died. We were programming little ARM microcontrollers, and that was a pain in the butt in C. And then moving to Python, it's so nice. So nice. Don't need to deal with registers or keep track of all of that. Alrighty, got a new battery in my camera. Gonna raise my desk one more time, and we're back up. C hurts, yeah, but I mean, everything is needed. I think the difficulty with my learning with it was that it was C along with I think it was assembly, so we were doing assembly code. I don't know if it was assembly or machine learning or machine code with the microcontroller boards, but yeah, that was a pain in the butt. respect for those who dabble and do that stuff for a living. Yeah, the data sheet. Well, like the manuals, always data sheets, manuals, those came in quite a bit handy. Like the biggest difficulty was um, having to calculate, I think, everything with like the timer of the crystal and having to do all of those calculations. I've since forgotten most of it though, so I would need a heavy refresher on all of that. But I think I got like an A in the class though, so A for credits, A for points. All right, we have oh, I can't click on it. Why can't I click on it? Web UI. Pilot server crashed. I don't know what's happening with my pylons, but it doesn't seem to want to work anymore. In this case, I will go ahead and copy this. Skip. Don't think I need any of these. Let's see. Row. So these are all shoved inside of a row. What does it look like? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, cool. Yeah, no, it's, well, yeah, if you're, so you graduate with mechanical, being a mechanical engineering degree. So I had mechas, or I had to work with um, people that had more mechanical than anything, and it's generally a struggle, just because the classes are completely different. But it's yeah, it's like having a electrical go into a mechanical class and have to do all of the different mathematics there. Of course, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Keeping me company. Always a joy. So, see you around next time. I guess I will do a bell. I'll do this. See ya. Oh, absolutely, definitely. I don't even think I remember doing the test benching stuff for one of my EE classes, but um, I think that was how we got out of the lab. Was after finishing writing a successful test, we could then leave the lab because we would just have to write on it afterwards. There was a software that we used to use. I think it was like LT Spice or something like that. That we had to use in order to make diagrams and calculations. That wasn't too bad once you got the hang of it, but it was definitely troublesome at times. But once I got the hang of the programming part of Spice, LT Spice, it was good. Yeah, LT Spice. Chunk size. I'll name this chunk size. Default 20. Yeah, LT Spice is gonna be. I'm pretty sure LT Spice is widely used, so at least it's like industry standard or whatever, something like that. Yeah, we used to have like these tiny little signal generators that we could use to test circuitry and whatnot, and I thought it was pretty neat, but I didn't get to keep it, unfortunately. So I was contemplating on buying one myself, but they soared in price after COVID, so that was unfortunate. Signal generator. I forgot exactly what the thing was called. But it was a signal generator and all that cool stuff. That I am unsure. I totally do not remember. I think we did a lot of the. I think we just did a lot of the stuff in like Notepad, and then just. Okay, yeah, we definitely didn't do that. We literally just used like Notepad, and then we just copy and pasted that into LT Spice. Notepad. Okay, where are these buttons at? These ones are right underneath. Column, alrighty. We'll do a new button. Do a button. Transcribe to button. Transcribe and process. Alright, let's cancel this and rerun this. Okay. So you guys, so it was able to, what? So it was able to do all the simulation inside of there. I thought that's what LT Spice was used for as well, all the simulation. But I don't know. Where? Inconsistent indentation. Why is it doing that? Why? 3, 4. Unfortunately, most of my circuitry knowledge is gone now. 597. Line 597. What the heck? I have no clue where the incorrect indentation is coming from in this. The only gripe about Python. What the heck? Let's see if that'll solve it. Questa, we did use something else that wasn't Questa, but this was for a completely different other class. That we had to learn almost like a different programming language for, but it was for simulating circuitry as well. I think what was it? PQ something. It was like a board that you could use to simulate and test a lot of things. But that was like, for me, that was like 3 or 4 years ago. And I haven't had to deal with them since. Wow. Indentation sucks. Alright. For other languages. And they're not there. Oh, why not? Column, dataset. I should be able to see them. Weird. Wonder where my text boxes have made it to. Interesting. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. With my vague, with my vague description of it, I wouldn't expect it to ring any bells. You can try to share it. If you're on the Discord, you could drop it in the Discord. Just no promises that I'll be able to completely test it out and whatnot. Gradio row. I've done the same thing here with Gradio. Tab row column. I've done that. Wait. Tab row. Yeah, tab row column. Yeah, tab row column. Row. That is so strange. I did the same thing. I'm not seeing anything. Let's change this to column. See what happens here. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was like, whatever software you build, you know, the better to get it, the better. well, appreciate you tuning in, Game Hero. Um, get on, definitely get on that grind. I haven't started, but my little brother loves One Piece, so appreciate it. I'm gonna need it, and I will see you around. Oh, here it is. I think I just forgot to refresh. I forgot to refresh it. Boo hoo. Oh. Yeesh. There you go, 800. Well, I had an anime binge last week, and I caught up with several series, like For Your Eternity, and then there's one called Shangri-La Frontier. All really great animes, and yeah, I spent a lot of time watching those over the past couple of weeks. But yeah, there's too much anime for me to keep up with. If I add One Piece on there, I'm gonna be on the anime grind forever. Attack on Titans. Yes, I completed actually Attack on Titans. For me, I thought Attack on Titans, the first two, okay, the first season was great. The second season I thought was mid, and then the third and then the final season I thought were pretty great to tie it all it in together. But since yeah, season 2 to me didn't make sense, and then season 3 and 4 made season 2 better for me. So I thought Attack on Titan was pretty cool. Yeah, once you get through the whole storyline, it's I'd say it was a really good series. But season 2 definitely made me completely confused, because when I watched it, season 3 didn't exist. So when I left off at season 2, I was like, what the heck? What's happening? But yeah, it all makes sense once you reach season 3. So the binge watching it is much better than having to wait. Yeah, I would agree. It's a pretty good series. Pretty great. Oops. Maine. Where did Maine go? What the heck? Ah, I see. Well, that's really good. I mean, having an episode be having a anime series be so long, it. I feel like you can't always just be be going at full speed the whole time, or else things will get a little crazy. So the whole story building I hear is fantastic for One Piece, and that's really what gets people hooked onto it. So 100% definitely. I did change to 3.9, but 3.10 for the Tortoise dataset maker, but 3.9 is still required for AI voice cloning, so you can use it. You can use 3.9 in here. I'm trying to figure out, do I need PySRT? I do need PySRT. Pip install PySRT. Yeah, I'll need to build that into it. PySRT. Of course, of course. All right, well, appreciate it, Game Hero. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, feel free to tune in any other time, and see you around then. Create a new project directory. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of additional logic I gotta build into this. Alrighty, you know, I'm also thinking about, I gotta go eat some food and do a couple of other things, so I will be tuning out of here as well. But yeah, appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I was able to get this at least updated for the other languages, but I think I'm gonna do a lot of this off stream actually for getting the code implemented into the web interface, and yeah, that'll be it. All right, thank you guys for tuning in, appreciate it, and I will see everyone later.